Fathers of Reddit. In honor of Father's Day, what was your don't tell your mother about this moment? Female coworker of mine was miserable at work one day. I asked her what was wrong. She told me it was her anniversary, and she knew her husband had forgotten. She had preteen girls at home during summer vacation. I knew her home phone number, pre-cell phone era. I called her home phone and one kid picked up. Explained to the kid who I was, and that she needed to call dad at work and remind him it was mom and dad's anniversary, and don't tell mom or dad I called. The next day she was all smiles. Gosh, he did remember, brought home flowers and took her to dinner. Mission accomplished. Not a word was ever said about this. Until 6 years later, when she left the company. She gave me a hug at a farewell luncheon, and whispered my kids ratted you out. Thank you.
#X200B, you.
You may well have just saved a family a lifetime of trouble with that phone call. Wholesome. One night I was enjoying a small bit of ice cream after my 4-year-old daughter went to bed. She came downstairs and caught me. So I offered her a small bite, but since she was supposed to be in bed, I said don't tell mom. She assured me she wouldn't. My wife wouldn't have cared anyway, but it was a fun little game to play. After she went up to bed, and I was down on the couch, she snuck into the master bedroom where mom was resting. She told mom that I had let her have some ice cream, and she was afraid of sugar bugs, so could she please brush her teeth again. My wife just laughed at me the next day. Little shit ratted me out to brush her teeth, something she doesn't like doing anyway. And here I am using Paw Patrol electric toothbrushes and toothpaste and frozen mouthwash to coax them into the bathroom before bed. And here I am prying the toothbrush out of my 4-year-old's hands before she wears down all her enamel and trying to get her to stop eating Elmo training toothpaste. That Elmo toothpaste is absolutely delicious. According to my 3-year-old and 18-month-old. Don't lie, we know you eat that stuff by the spoonful. I just can't help it. I go through 20 of those little tubes a day. I need help. My dad and I, around 5 years old, were on our way home from a car show when we were getting followed by the cops. My dad struggled to put on his seatbelt quickly in hopes he wouldn't get a ticket. Unfortunately, we got pulled over. This might have been the first time ever that I saw a cop this close up, let alone speak to one. I was a deer in headlights the whole time. Well, with a cop on either side of the car, the officer leaned in and asked my dad why he was swerving. That dick told the cops I was tickling him. The cops looked at me straight in the eyes and asked if this was true. I was too scared to say anything and just nodded yes. The officer smiled and said, "Never to do that again while your father is driving, okay?" They left without any further words and my dad gave me the lecture of don't tell your mom. #X200B, TL, Doctor, Dad and I get pulled over when he tried to get his seatbelt on, blamed it on me tickling him instead. Not a father but a son. We forgot my passport during vacation, and were already at the border station when we noticed. My dad then said that we won't turn back but that he will figure something out. Turns out he smuggled me successfully across 3 border crossings without my passport. Before we arrived at home, he told me not to tell my mom about this. How the hell did he manage that? Stuff you in a suitcase? Nope. We passed through European borders prior to Schengen. He had a regular ID card and a driver's license, both belonged to him. He showed the border officials his ID card on top of his driver's license and put them in such a way that the border official would see that he is handing them 2 documents that look very similar, one ID card for him, one for me. Only one border official even bothered to look at the ID card plus driver's license, but it seems that he only looked for the expiration date and gave them straight back to my dad. If they caught us, it would have probably ended badly. So a bit of a long story here. Ex-forces, stationed in Germany. Mate gave me a lift home for Christmas, dropped me off after the ferry crossing at my sister's house, around 40 minutes from Dover. Cheers mate, see you in a couple of weeks. Christmas goes by, get my shit together, balls, can't find my passport. Proper pooping it at this point. Text my mate, please check your car. Text back, nothing there. What I am going to do. Right, they hardly ever check at Dover going out. Mate picked me up, and the plan was if it all went wrong my sister would come and collect me from Dover, but my mate would carry on as he still had to report for duty. Get to Dover, nervous as hell. Don't get checked, make it through the first checkpoint. Get round the corner where they issue tickets. No problems, we've ducking done it. I'm pumped at this point. So mate passes me all the stuff they give you, and I go to tuck it next to my seat. In doing so, I see something purple between seat and center tunnel. Interesting. Rummage there, lo and fucking behold, it's my damn passport. Luckily we got through, but I'd have been bloody furious had it not, and I found out it was in his car the whole time. I asked him if he would have coughed up, and he said, nah, I'd probably have burned it. Dad and I used to rent a movie each week for when Mom had dinner with friends. Usually things like Star Trek or action films. One day, I was about 11, he came home with Blade. We got about 10 minutes in and he turns to me and said, don't tell your mother about this, let's just say I forgot to get it this week. Of course I agree. Fast forward 7-ish years, Dad blithely drops at the dinner table the fact that we watched Blade when I was about 11. Silly Dad thought there was some kind of statute of limitations on this. For my dad and I it was cop movies like Last Boy Scout, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, etc. At the time my mom lost her shit when she found out I was fond of those kind of TV movies cause I'd already seen the theatrical versions Lamau. When my 3-year-old wakes up in the middle of the night, like maybe 3 times a month, instead of putting her back to sleep her stay up and partake in whatever it is I am doing no matter what. Sometimes she falls asleep in minutes and sometimes she stays up for a couple hours. I think it's amazing times. I think it may even be dreamlike for her by the way she speaks and moves. She has painted with me, heard my books read aloud, watched Lord of the Rings and cooked creme brulee. The rule is, it's my time, so if she's gonna be with me she does what I'm doing just like I do for her all day long. She totally gets it and never makes it about her. My goodness, thank you everybody for your comments and your awards. What a special day to be recognized as a father. My dad did this as well. He'll never forget falling asleep in his lap while we watched Gunsmoke. I remember watching Nightmare on Elm Street when I woke up late as a 6-year-old. He explained how they did all the effects so it wasn't scary for me. Plus being carried to bed by your dad is the best. I was in middle school, my father gradually bought computers and monitors for us 4 kids and himself, and the 5 of us would play World of Warcraft together for many days and always log off 1 hour before Mom got home. We'd rush all the chores in that 1 hour. That's when we had teamwork at its finest. She never knew we all played cause she thought it was the devil at it. I've never had 1K plus upvotes before. I can't wait to show my dad how much love has getting on Father's Day. Thank you. Happy Father's Day everyone at it too. Thank for my first award. My dad doesn't have Reddit but he'd say this. Dad, finding 4 other players for dungeons is so hard. There's got to be a better way. Looks around and sees his 4 children. Dad, For real though. My dad was the human paladin, I was always night elf hunter, older sis the mage, little sis a human rogue, youngest bro another night elf hunter. Edit spelling error. I have always worked in restaurants and get home late nights. On Fridays I treat myself to takeout. Not just any takeout, the bad stuff. Cheese fries topped with gyro meat, steak nachos with guac. Always a large, always with a big bottle of beer they sell singly. When my girls were little they would sneak down late at night and we would munch bad food and watch really bad funny movies with all the swear words in. That's really endearing. When my son was 6 I was playing Grand Theft Auto late at night. He wakes up and comes to the living room, tells me he can't sleep, and asks can he watch me play. I say he can but not to tell his mom. He agrees with a big smile. Maybe after about an hour he is playing and I'm watching and helping him. He can't stop laughing, driving into people and running from the cops. I was telling him to watch out for the 5-0 and he asked me what that means, so I tell him it's the cops. He just shrugs and keeps playing. Now fast forward about a week later and we are all driving in the car. All I hear is a scream of Dad, watch out, it's the 5-0. And I absolutely start crying from laughing so hard, all while his mother is questioning where he learned that. He just says YouTube. She found out later that I let him play GTA, but I hope the memory of that is as special to him as it is to me. One of my gaming mates has a kid who pipes up in the background sometimes playing the Switch, and the shit he's picked up from his old man is hilarious. Bowser. Get wrecked. It never ceases to amaze me the things he hears and then repeats.